What if I told you that behind Hollywood's dazzling lights lies a chilling truth, that the quest for perfection can twist into a living nightmare? Imagine your favorite stars, once celebrated for their flawless looks, now desperately trying to undo the very choices that once made them icons. From disastrous plastic surgeries to shocking body transformations that left fans in disbelief, these are the dark stories Hollywood would rather keep buried. Drop a number 1 in the comments if you're still with me, because what comes next might forever change how you see celebrity culture. These aren't just stories about altered faces and broken bodies. They're cautionary tales of the heavy price paid for chasing an impossible dream. In the end, the so-called paradise of beauty can become the cruelest prison of all. Jocelyn Wildenstein, once the very definition of glamour. She lived a life most could only dream of: glittering parties, flashing cameras, sprawling mansions, and diamonds that sparkled brighter than the flashbulbs that followed her every move. As the wife of billionaire Alec Wildenstein, she seemed untouchable, wrapped in wealth and luxury. But beneath the shimmering surface, Jocelyn began a dangerous journey, one that would forever change her face and her fate. It started small, a nip here, a tuck there, the kind of subtle improvements many in her world quietly indulged in. But for Jocelyn, those gentle tweaks became a raging fire. What began as vanity transformed into obsession, and soon the pursuit of eternal youth consumed her. Each surgery promised perfection. Each one took her further away from the woman she once was. When her marriage crumbled in 1999, Jocelyn didn't just lose Alec. She lost the empire that shielded her from reality. The surgeries that once seemed like her armor became her chains, bleeding her fortune dry. By 2018, the woman once perched at the pinnacle of society was facing bankruptcy, mocked and ridiculed by the very world that once worshipped her. Her face, once her pride, was now branded a public tragedy. But Jocelyn's downfall wasn't just about money or beauty. It was about identity. It was about losing herself in the mirror's reflection. In 2022, when she appeared alongside makeup artist Alexa Stone, the cameras no longer saw a socialite icon. They saw a cautionary tale. A woman trapped by choices she could never undo. Her story is more than tabloid fodder. It forces us to confront our obsession with perfection and ask the haunting question: what are we willing to sacrifice to stop time? Jocelyn Wildenstein isn't just a name. She's a living warning that in the race against age, the ultimate cost may be yourself. In 2020, when Adele walked onto the Saturday Night Live stage after 4 long years away, the world collectively held its breath. Gone was the familiar figure we thought we knew. In her place stood a slimmer, radiant woman, 100 pounds lighter, yes, but far heavier with meaning. Her transformation was not just about appearance. It was a declaration, a rebirth. The girl with the voice that could melt the coldest heart had emerged as a fearless, unshakable version of herself. But behind the dazzling smile and breathtaking confidence was a journey carved in pain, pressure, and unrelenting determination. Adele's weight loss wasn't about chasing society's shallow idea of beauty. It was her lifeline in the middle of chaos. While the world drowned in fear during the pandemic, Adele faced storms of her own. A painful divorce, the demanding role of raising her son alone, and the suffocating weight of her own fame. Every pound lost wasn't just a number on a scale. It was a step toward reclaiming control, a rebellion against the voices that demanded perfection from her every move. Her return to the spotlight wasn't just a performance, it was a revelation. A reminder that even at the peak of global fame, celebrities fight unseen battles in the dark. Adele's journey forces us to ask, why do we applaud physical transformation, yet ignore the emotional scars hidden beneath? Her story is more than inspiring, it's a wake-up call. Behind the glittering image is a real human being, clawing her way back to herself. And in Adele's triumph, we're reminded of the power of facing your demons and emerging stronger than ever. From the moment she stepped onto the scene with "Baby One More Time," Britney Spears wasn't just another rising star, she was a phenomenon. A radiant teenager who captured the world's heart, she quickly became more than a pop star. She became the very definition of a cultural icon, reinventing herself again and again. But behind the glitz and glamour was a life under lock and key, controlled by both family and the ever-hungry media machine. So when Britney openly talks about lip injections, Botox, or skin treatments, it's not shallow vanity, it's rebellion. Every appointment at the esthetician isn't just a beauty choice, it's a battle cry. This is my body. My choice. Her vulnerability, raw and unfiltered, is at once heartbreaking and powerful, exposing the crushing weight of decades of judgment. For years, cameras dissected her smile, her waistline, even the way she walked, forcing her to wrestle with impossible beauty standards no one should ever face. Her decision to alter her appearance isn't simply cosmetic, it's symbolic. Each procedure is a line of resistance, a declaration that she refuses to be trapped by anyone's expectations. In reshaping her image, Britney is reshaping her destiny, inch by inch reclaiming the freedom she was once denied. But her story isn't just hers. It's a mirror held up to society. Every wrinkle she smooths, every imperfection she dares to change, reflects our own obsession with perfection, and our cruelty in demanding it from others. Britney shows us that true survival isn't about meeting those standards, it's about finding the courage to break them. She isn't just a star, she's living proof that reinvention is more than skin deep. It's about clawing your way back to yourself, no matter how many voices tell you not to. Now here's the question. Do you believe cosmetic procedures can be an act of empowerment? If yes, drop a 2 in the comments. If not, type a 5 and tell us why. Mickey Rourke was once the smoldering heartthrob of 1980s Hollywood, the kind of man whose piercing eyes and crooked smile could light up the screen in films like 9.5 Weeks and Angel Heart. At the peak of his fame, when the world expected him to rule the silver screen for decades to come, Rourke shocked everyone. He walked away from Hollywood to chase a different dream, boxing. It was a choice that forever altered the course of his life in ways no one could have imagined. The ring gave him battles, but it also took everything. Each fight left its mark, not only on his body but on the very face that had made him a star. Failed reconstructive surgeries, including one by a doctor he bitterly described as the man who ruined my face, left him nearly unrecognizable. What followed was a spiral of struggle, as Rourke wrestled with fading fame, personal demons, and the heavy cost of his decisions. But Mickey Rourke was never one to surrender. In 2008, he delivered the performance of a lifetime in The Wrestler. As Randy, the Ram, Robinson, a broken-down fighter clawing for redemption, Rourke wasn't just acting, he was living his truth on screen. Every scar, every heartbreak, every mistake poured out of him with raw authenticity. The world felt it. Critics called it a comeback, but it was more than that. It was a resurrection. The role earned him an Oscar nomination and reminded audiences everywhere that even shattered souls can shine again. Rourke himself once said, "I have no regrets because I've lived true to myself." And true he was. From Sin City to Iron Man 2, he rebuilt his legacy not with pretty boy charm, but with layered, unforgettable performances. He became a symbol for anyone who's ever fallen, yet found the strength to rise again. Mickey Rourke's story is not just about an actor or a fighter, it's about a man who dared to live fully, dared to fail, and dared to be reborn. His scars are not signs of defeat, but proof of survival. Every punch thrown in the ring, every role played on screen whispers the same truth. Victory isn't about perfection. It's about how we face our brokenness, and still find the courage to fight again. Janice Dickinson. Once hailed as the world's first supermodel, she dazzled runways with her fierce beauty and magnetic presence. But life taught her that true beauty isn't measured in flawless features. It's carved from resilience and fire. When breast cancer came crashing into her world, Janice didn't just fight to survive, she transformed. The grueling days of chemotherapy didn't shatter her, they forged her into a warrior. A woman with scars, yes, but scars that tell a story of survival, courage, and reinvention. At 69, Janice no longer chases the glittering spotlight of the 80s. Instead, she shines with a new kind of light, the glow of resilience. She's working again, not to prove she's still a supermodel, but to declare that every scar, every surgery, every heartbreak is part of a beautiful journey. "I don't need to be perfect," she says with conviction. I just need to be me, with everything I've endured. Her comeback isn't just a personal victory, it's a powerful reminder. She shows us that illness tests more than the body. It challenges the mind, the heart, the spirit. And with her radiant smile and indomitable will, Janice Dickinson proves that age cannot define you, sickness cannot break you. What truly defines you is how you rise, how you fight, and how you keep moving forward. Val Kilmer, forever remembered as the icy-cool rival in Top Gun, found himself in the fight of a lifetime when throat cancer threatened to steal the very gift that defined him, his voice. 2 tracheotomies and punishing rounds of chemotherapy left him scarred, reshaping the once charming leading man into someone battling to hold on to his identity. Yet Kilmer refused to surrender. Instead of letting illness write his ending, he turned his suffering into fuel, determined that the silver screen would not lose him so easily. His return in Top Gun, Maverick was more than a nostalgic cameo, it was a triumph of the human spirit. Though his screen time was brief, it carried the gravity of a man who had stared down the abyss and fought his way back into the light. Technology may have helped recreate his voice, but the raw emotion etched into every glance, every silent gesture, was unmistakably his. When Iceman faced Maverick once more, it wasn't just 2 characters reuniting, it was a symbol of survival, resilience, and hope, one that moved millions to tears. Val Kilmer's journey proves that life's most brutal battles can strip away everything but courage. From a star ravaged by illness, he rewrote his destiny, not with physical strength, but with unwavering passion for his craft. His story reminds us that even in life's darkest moments, the human spirit has the power to rise, to shine, and to inspire. Justin Jedlicka, better known as the human Ken doll, is the ultimate symbol of extreme reinvention in a world ruled by filters, fame, and fleeting approval. At just 18 years old, he stepped onto a path that would consume his life, an endless pursuit of perfection through cosmetic surgery. By the time most people were still figuring out who they were, Justin had already undergone more than 700 procedures. Every cut, every stitch brought him closer to the image he carried in his mind, but also deeper into a haunting question. When does self-improvement cross the line into self-destruction? His story isn't just written on the body. It's etched in the soul. Behind the glossy headlines and TV appearances on Botched and My Strange Addiction, Justin became both a fascination and a cautionary tale. A man turned into a spectacle for a generation obsessed with likes, followers, and impossible beauty standards. Yet beneath the spotlight lurks his greatest battle, body dysmorphia. No matter how many surgeries, he admits, he has never felt truly satisfied. Justin's journey forces us to look in the mirror, not just at him, but at ourselves. How far will we go for validation? Is his relentless quest a chase for a perfect dream, or a desperate attempt to fill an emptiness that no scalpel can touch? The living Ken doll isn't just a curiosity of modern pop culture. He's a reflection of us all, a chilling reminder that in chasing perfection, we risk losing the very essence of who we are. Dolly Parton isn't just a music legend, she's a force of nature, an unapologetic icon of confidence and freedom. With her famous quip, "It takes a lot of money to look this cheap," she turned what many considered a taboo, cosmetic surgery, into a bold, witty statement. Dolly doesn't flinch under the spotlight or shrink from scrutiny. Instead, she meets curiosity head-on with her trademark humor and self-deprecating charm. That honesty is what makes her so relatable, tearing down old stereotypes about beauty and reminding the world that true worth lies not in appearances, but in heart, soul, and raw talent. Beyond the rhinestones and the glamour, Dolly is a master storyteller. Her songs aren't just hits, they're living, breathing pieces of life. Jolene and I Will Always Love You aren't merely chart toppers. They're confessions pulled straight from her soul, born from her journey from the hills of Tennessee to the dazzling lights of stardom. That vulnerability draws people in, making fans love not just her voice but the woman behind it, the resilient dreamer who never stopped being true to herself. But Dolly's legacy goes far beyond music. She has used her fame as a platform for kindness and change. Through her Dollywood Foundation, she's gifted millions of free books to children, proving that her greatest hits aren't just sung, they're lived. With her radiant smile and generous heart, she continues to uplift lives one melody and one act of kindness at a time. Perhaps what makes Dolly Parton endure through generations is her unshakable philosophy. If you want the rainbow, you have to put up with the rain. It's that blend of wisdom, humor, and grit that has made her more than a star. Dolly Parton is an icon who refuses to be confined by stereotypes, a living testament to resilience, and a reminder that true beauty will always shine brightest from within. Kaley Cuoco has never shied away from the truth. While many Hollywood stars dodge questions about cosmetic procedures, she faces them head-on, with honesty, confidence, and zero shame. Kaley has openly admitted to having breast implants and using Botox, but for her, these choices weren't about hiding flaws. They were about strength, empowerment, and feeling her best every time she looked in the mirror. Her story is a powerful reminder that self-love doesn't always mean embracing a so-called natural perfection. Sometimes, it's about making choices that allow you to feel comfortable and truly at home in your own skin. In an industry obsessed with unattainable ideals, Kaley stands out as fearless and authentic. She refuses to let society dictate what beauty should look like. For her, cosmetic procedures are not signs of weakness, but symbols of ownership, owning her body, her choices, and her happiness. What makes Kaley even more inspiring is her openness. Despite skyrocketing to fame through one of television's most iconic sitcoms, she has remained relatable, vulnerable, and refreshingly real. Every time she speaks candidly, whether about beauty standards or personal insecurities, she builds a bond with her fans that's deeper than any role she's ever played. That raw authenticity is what sets Kaley apart. Not just as a Hollywood star, but as a woman unafraid to live her truth, and in doing so, she inspires millions to embrace theirs. Ariel Winter grew up in the bright spotlight of Modern Family, but instead of being celebrated for her talent, she was constantly picked apart by the media and social networks for her body. At just 17, she made a life-changing decision: breast reduction surgery. Not to please critics, not to fit Hollywood's impossible standards, but to free herself from chronic back pain and the endless stares of strangers. This wasn't just a medical procedure. It was a turning point, a bold reclaiming of her own body in a world where young women rarely get that choice. Ariel Winter was condemned simply for daring to change. When she suffered in silence, no one spoke up. But when she finally chose surgery to live comfortably, the backlash came crashing in. Her story shines a harsh light on the double standards women, especially famous women, face every day. They're expected to be perfect but forbidden to change, confident but never too different. Ariel didn't bow to that hypocrisy. Instead, she opened up about her journey, transforming a private, painful experience into a powerful voice for countless young women silently carrying the same burden. Ariel's true growth isn't just seen on screen, it's found in her fearless fight for self-autonomy in an industry that so often strips it away. By speaking openly about her surgery, she turned what many call cosmetic into a declaration. Caring for your body and your mental health is never shameful. She wasn't chasing approval. She was choosing self-love on her own terms. And that's exactly what makes her powerful and deeply admirable. Yes, her look has changed so much that some barely recognize her. But behind that transformation is a deeper journey, a battle with expectations, the weight of fame, and the courage to redefine herself. In the end, appearances fade. What remains untouchable is her talent, her strength, and her truth. Thank you for watching Exposed Hollywood. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe so you won't miss what's coming next.